The 2026 FIFA World Cup, it's given us one of the intriguing encounters into quarterfinals as we're going to be seeing Morocco and, of course, the 2018 champions France holding up fourth in a reclash of what happened in semi-final 4 years ago. I mean, these two sides, Morocco, the Atlas Lions, and Le Bleu, France, have all booked their spot into the last eight after their various wins in the 2026 FIFA World Cup round of 16. Let's begin with Morocco. They defeated co-host Canada by 3 goals to nil. It was a game that the Canadians started with intense pressure, making a lot of statements by moving on to seek to get the goals. You saw the likes of Tani Oluwaseyi, the likes of Jonathan Davis, Eustáquio making a lot of movements, goalkeeper. Yassine Bono need to come at a point to make some couple of brilliant saves to keep the Moroccans in the game. And of course, it made sure that the Moroccan team were quite resolute. In as much as there was a change in the center of defense of the Moroccans, you saw Hahal joining, Issa Diop to partner because there wasn't Riyad Chadi. It was quite of a shaky defense in that point. Even though Mazraoui was still around, Ashraf Hakimi was still around. And of course, immediately after the first half started, their top marksman Ismail Salbari got injured in the process. So one would have said it will definitely affect the attack. But coach Mahmoud Houabi decided to bring on Sofiane Rahimi, who kept on the pace and his pressure on the back line, which included the likes of Moise Bombito and Richie Lai at the back line of the Canadian side. So the Moroccans kept on piling up the pressure, seeking the movement. Not too much of movement seen from Ayub Boadi, but Ezidine Unai really stepped up. The likes of Bilal El Khanous did a marvelous job in the midfield. And of course, Brahim Diaz has been a constant feature for the Moroccan setup in this World Cup. And of course, you saw what happened when a corner kick came on board. And you saw Ashraf Hakimi laying the pass from that corner. Or it was a free kick rather. It was a free kick rather, laying the pass to Azedine Unai to score. And that was how the Moroccans started by scoring the first goal. So they kept up pressure till the second goal also came. Azedine Unai, the same man, also had a brace. And of course, interestingly, this Moroccan setup has been giving us different flavor in terms of heroes from every match. In the first game, you saw Ismail Saibari. In the second game, you saw Ismail Saibari. In the third game, the likes of Sofiane Rahimi and Shamsuddin Talbi stepped up. And of course, that was what happened. Issa Diop was the hero of the game in that match against the Netherlands. And they seem to be giving us different heroes from one match. And in the round of 16 game against, the Canadians, it was Azedine Unai with that brace. And it was absolutely brilliant before Sofiane Rahimi set up the final goal, which became the third goal for the Moroccans. And of course, the third goal in the game, as the Moroccans have now beaten Canada to secure their spot into the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This is what we call standard. The Moroccans are matching their standard. And they are relentless. They are going forward. They don't go backward. They are not thinking about anybody. They are not afraid of anybody. So right now in the World Cup, there is no game that Morocco will play and they will be the underdogs because they can match up any team. In as much as you might be tempted to feel that the French team is one of the overwhelming favorites, I think the Moroccans team can be able to withstand the French team. It's just to check about the movement of the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Desiree Doué, and of course Bradley Bakola. Even though it proves to be a daunting task, but it's absolutely doable. The Moroccan team are matching their own standard. From the last World Cup, they became the first African country to reach the semi-finals. This time around, they are in the quarterfinal, and they are just 3 games away from the title. And if Morocco is able to beat France, win in the semi-finals, win in the finals, Morocco will become the first African country to win the World Cup. And I think if there is going to be a team from Africa that can probably win the World Cup, everybody will agree with me that it's definitely going to be Morocco. Because they set up the standard, infrastructure, training, everything is okay. So even if they want to bring a foreign-born player to add up to the team, that player is not hesitant because he feels that the infrastructure that he's seen at where he's born, there are these same infrastructures in Morocco. So it probably helps him to come and gel very well. And of course, they have an FA president who has been doing well. Mind you, this is a coach who came, Mahmoud Wabi, just few months to the start of the World Cup. But because there's been a system that has been put in place, so good coach will just come and lay in the system. That's all. You just move on. And that's what Morocco is doing. And they're absolutely home and drive. In as much as you can say that it's going to be a daunting task beating the French team, but Morocco have set up a standard and they are matching it. The French game against Paraguay was a deadly one. For me, I think it was a game that should have seen some couple of red cards, especially on the part of the Paraguayans, because they came not to play football, but to create chaotic situations and hooliganism within the game. Kickings, hookings, and of course, too much of unfriendly play, including fouls, which were unwarranted, unfounded. And of course, for me, the referee on that day really let off the Paraguayans. I mean, some couple of red cards should have come on their part. And it was so unfortunate. Former Paraguay goalkeeper Jose Luis Chilavet passed a racist comment that in France 98 they played a white French, but this time around they are playing a black French, which is quite a racist chant, because majority of all these players who are playing for the French team are born in France, and the French people see them as French. So what is your case? And if you say you played against a white French, it's not true, because in 1998 there were the likes of Thuram, Karimbo, Zinedine Zidane, Marcel Desailly, Patrick Vieira. All these guys were blacks and they were commanding starting lineup players within the team. So it tells you that Jose Luis Chilavet started up with a chaotic situation with that racist chant that completely marred the beauty of the game. I was just happy the French team never bothered and never put their eyes or their ears to that useless issue made by former goalkeeper Jose Luis Chilavet. They went on to play their own football, and of course, a penalty came when Desiree Doué was fouled in the penalty box. Even despite the VR decision that came on board, the referee never saw it as a penalty initially. But Kylian Mbappe converted from the spot, even though he had a clear chance to even add one again. But unfortunately, he failed to score. And that was how the French team ended by winning by a goal to nil. And that is absolutely brilliant from the French side. They've won all their games and they seem to be home and drive. They are marching on. They are meeting Morocco in the quarterfinals. Let's see what happens. This has been the podcast channel with our. Thank you.